Hi, everyone. This is Debbie Schwartz. I manage the Paying for College 101 Facebook group and also the Road to College Facebook page. And tonight we're talking with Marisa Meddin of Talk College to Me. And our topic is college majors, how you as a parent can help your student zero in and find the best major for them, and how this is going to help you save money and make them more productive in the college admission search process and obviously also in college as well. So, oh my goodness, we have like 57 people watching already so quickly. I apologize. This was a Facebook Live that was scheduled last Wednesday at this time. We just didn't have luck last week, and it wasn't us. It was the platform that we were using didn't work. So here we are again this week, and I'm really excited because everybody seemed to be excited. I got so many emails saying, what happened to the Facebook Live? So anyhow, let me introduce Marisa. And Marisa, we've done Facebook Lives before, and they've been very successful. But why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, especially I'm sure there are people who haven't necessarily don't know you. And so just love to hear your background.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to quickly hit on the next slide, I can give you guys a quick background on me. So first, hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you all tonight to talk about how to help your kid choose a college major and a potential career path, even if that seems impossible. I promise we're going to do it together. So a quick background on me, and Debbie, thank you for the introduction and everything that you do. I love this group and you offer so much helpful information. So in the picture here, this is a picture of my family here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I attended the University of Michigan where I studied business. I lived in New York and LA for 6 years while working after college. And I've been back in Atlanta and, as Debbie knows, traveling all over the world while I do some work helping families with college admissions. So it's one of my very favorite things to do is work with families and parents like you guys to help you ultimately help your kid get into the college of their dreams. And I also have a really big passion for helping you and helping families and students figure out their career paths and how that all fits together with college and college admissions and what you can be doing now. So again, these are some of my favorite topics to talk about, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. I live and breathe all of this college admissions work and helping careers, and so excited to dig in with you guys. Debbie, I don't know if you have anything else before we get started.
I just have some little housekeeping because I see some comments. So first off, it seems like some people can see and everything is working and other people are having some issues. So the people who are having issues, I would just say either refresh your screen, maybe go in and come back in again. Because it seems like other people can see everything. The second thing is we're going to try and not answer questions until the end, just because we want to try and get through everything. But if a question pops in your head, feel free to put it in the comments. We will definitely get to it. And lastly, if for some you really cannot see anything, maybe you can still want to listen. But Marisa, we're going to put in a link, and she will be able to send everybody a copy of the slides. So we're going to try and hopefully cover all the bases.
Perfect. Yeah, and I even forgot to mention, Debbie, the business that I run is called Talk College to Me. I forgot to tell everybody that, but again, you can see the little logo in the corner because it's fun, it's playful. I like to teach you guys this information in a really fun and easy and casual way that's not so scary and frustrating. So yeah, as Debbie said, please ask any questions that you have in the comments. If anything is like really super relevant right in that moment, we might stop, but we have a ton of information we want to get through and share with you, and be mindful of your time for this hour. So we'll spend some time answering questions at the end. And what were you saying, Debbie?
No, two last quick things. I do see that people are saying if they refreshed their screen or if they went out and they came back in, it worked. So please do that if it's not working for you. And last, Mindy, I'm giving a call out to you. If you can put in the comments, if anybody wants to download a copy of a worksheet that we had we had given the link to prior, but if you haven't done it, we'll put in the link again. It's just a really good, sheet to kind of use as we follow along with what Marisa has to say. That's it. I'm done. All yours.
Perfect. So I'm so excited. As Debbie knows, I have a really special offer that I want to share with you guys at the end of this session. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let us dig in to helping you figure out how in the world to help your kid choose a major and a potential career path at this moment in time. So let's head on to the next slide. And sorry, for those of you guys who know just the way the logistics works, Debbie has to click on all the slides for me, so bear with us here. Okay, so as I kind of mentioned, most families, when picking a college, go about the process completely backwards. So what do I mean by this? We'll go to the next slide here. Oh, Debbie. Perfect. So sorry about this. So there are over 5,300 colleges in the US alone. So most families, there's kind of 3 steps if you think about it, to pick a college, pick a major, and then pick a potential career path. And most families go about this backwards. They actually start with those 5,300 colleges in the US, which if you think about it, that's a lot of colleges. So it's really hard to narrow down a list to apply to and then just kind of pick a college at random. And this is why you often see, like in Facebook groups or threads, of people saying like, I don't know where to start. What do I do? There's so many. And this is totally normal. So what usually happens is, again, people start with those colleges, and then once they get to school, they'll kind of spend a year or two choosing a major, trying to figure it out. And then based on that major, they'll try to fit a career based on, what they've been studying and what that major then kind of sets them up to do. But if you think about this, that's kind of backwards, and there's a better approach, as you can see here. And that's starting with the potential career path first and foremost. And then that helps your child then pick a major, and then a college is going to fall into place and make a whole lot more sense. So in addition to just having it be easier and ending up having the right time in this funnel the correct way, Debbie, I know you and I had talked a little bit about actually some of the financial benefits that going in this route first. So Debbie, I don't know if you want to kind of start and chime in there, and then I can add on.
Well, sure. I think it just kind of helps your student avoid, kind of mistakes. I mean, right now, unfortunately, the statistic is about 70% of students end up transferring, for their major, and they're changing their major, and that potentially might have them take longer to graduate. So if this can be ironed out much earlier, your students more likely to sail through, college in the 4 years. And because if they have to go to a 5th year, you've kind of blown the budget on any sort of college planning that you might have done. There's just, no way of kind of recouping that 5th year costs.
Yes, exactly. So as you can see, not only is it just kind of helpful to get this going, but it can really also be financially beneficial as well. So I'm so thrilled that all of you guys are here tonight. That makes you wonderful parents who are here to help your kids, help your wallet, and help them graduate on time and ultimately have a better direction. So excited to dig in. So if you want to head, you're already there. So a lot of you at this point might be asking, okay, that sounds wonderful. I get it. I get how it would help. I get why it's going to help me narrow down the college. But my kid has absolutely no idea what they want to be one day. So can you relate to this? Type yes into the comments if this sounds like your kid or kids, because I know that tons of parents feel this way, and their biggest concern is like, my kid doesn't even know, like how he's going to get to school tomorrow, what he's going to eat for lunch, never mind figure out what he's going to do as a career path. So I know that this can feel really overwhelming, and I'm going to teach you exactly how, even if they have absolutely no idea, there's a way to figure it out, and we're going to learn that tonight. All right. So, and I can't actually see all the comments coming through. I don't know if Debbie can, but yes. I'm guessing that I can see that people are commenting, and I'm guessing there are a lot of yeses.
So double yes.
That double yes. Perfect. So if you guys are ready to learn, I have 6 steps that we're going to walk through tonight to help you guys figure out a college and a career path. So let's jump right in. So step number 1 is, cool, keeping out the slides here, perfect, is to have your child write down answers to a series of questions that uncover their innate interests, strengths, and curiosities. So this first step may seem really obvious and like, yeah, Marissa, we get it. We've done that. We're asking them the questions. We're asking them what they want to be. But it's actually all about asking the right questions and the right insights. So I've spent a lot of years both working in career counseling while I was in college, doing a lot of recruiting afterwards through my own career, and coaching and helping many hundreds of parents like you guys through my business now. And I know that I have learned the right question to ask, and they're really not the obvious ones that may come to your mind. So I'm going to share, there's a list of like 30 or 35 of them, and we don't have time to go over all of them tonight. So I'll give you a chance to get all of those. But Deb, if we could click through, I'm going to give you just a couple of examples so you guys can see what I mean. We're going to do some quick brainstorming. So the first question, and again, these are just some examples, there's a whole list of them, are what topic could your kid talk about for 24 hours and never get tired of? So I'm sure some of you are like hearing your kids chatter and you want to be a good parent and stay involved, and they're just like talking your ear off. Like, think of things like this. That's a really big sign and a clue that's something they're really excited about. The next question is, what was your kid doing the last time and this is the next slide, Debbie.
Yeah.
I don't mind. What was your kid doing the last time they completely lost track of time? So you may not even know this one, but these are questions that you're going to want to sit down and ask your kid, because if you think about it, what you call it, it's like in your zone of genius or your sweet spot, when they're so busy and so excited doing something that they were like, I forgot to eat lunch and I'm so excited and I'm working on this project, and it might be like learning an instrument in their room on YouTube or learning how to dance. It doesn't matter. But this is another question. So the next one is, if your kid could take a class and become a master on any subject in the world, and if it was easy and it wasn't hard work, what would it be and why? The next one is, if your kid could start their own club at school with absolutely no pressure to promote it or lead it or organize any of the logistics, what club would they create? Again, so we're just trying to get these insights and answers from kids in different ways, and just saying, what do you want to be? Because these are the things when they're just excited about and passionate about, and there's no strings holding them back, they start to get creative with their answers. And then I think this is the last one. What do your kids' friends ask them for help with? So I love this question because a lot of times, both you, if you think about with yourself, the way you look at your kids, sometimes you take skills that they have for granted because they come so naturally to them that you forget that other people actually want their help with it. And these are, again, clues that it's something that they're good at, something that comes easy, something that they're excited about. So it could be academic, it could be social, it could be problem solving, it could be sports, dance, music, absolutely anything. So those are just a couple. I have one more question I forgot I had in here. The last one, I think it's the last one, is what makes your kid angry about the current state of the world? And with unlimited resources, how would they fix it? So again, these are just examples. I have a whole list of questions, but this particular one I love because then it really gets you thinking about, what kind of value can I bring to the world? What problems do I want to solve? And that can really lead to some good clues about what kind of career they'd want and what kind they'd be good at. So again, these are just a couple of the questions. And then for the next slide, Debbie. So I want to ask, do you guys see how these questions can start to uncover these interests? Again, without asking that dreaded question that you always ask them and your kids never want to answer, of like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm meant to do. So by asking these list of questions, it really starts to just get it in a playful way and come at it from different angles that you may never thought of, that your kids may never thought of, that you realize are clues. So again, I can't see the comments, but type yes into those comment box if you can see how these types of questions can really help lead to these answers more than just that generic question that probably a lot of people have been going through before.
So just so you know, Marissa, people, they said these are great questions. These are really good. So
good. Awesome. So excited. So we have a whole list. Those are just like scratching the surface. So as you can see on the screen here, if you guys want that full list of questions, I'm going to share them with you when the session is over. So right now, if you can quickly, like I know you guys have your phones and I want you to keep paying attention. It's the only time I'm going to tell you to take out your phone, but take out your phone and just open up your emails right now and send an email to support@talkcollegetome.com, and that's in the slide there. And hopefully we can put it in the comments or something later, and we'll tell you again at the end. But if you could do it right now so you don't forget, just put the subject line as your first name. You literally don't even have to type anything into the copy. I know that these emails coming in right now are from this session. And when it's over, I'll click reply and I will send you the full list of questions. Again, I think it's like 35 or so that you can walk through with your kid, and then it'll have some steps on the next steps in the process that we're about to go through too. So that way you don't have to worry about taking notes. And then you guys, again, we didn't have time in this session to get all of the questions because there's a ton of them and they're awesome. And I really want you to go through them with your kid. So again, hopefully you guys are opening up your phones and sending this email right now. Again, support@talkcollegetome.com. Put your first name in the comments, and I will get those questions to you right after it. So while you're doing that quickly, how many of you, if you could type in the comments, are really excited to start going through these questions with your kids? So type yes into the comments and we'll keep going. All right. Getting to the next slide. All right, so that was step number 1, is asking the right question. So step number 2.
Step number 2.
I know, that was a lot. That was the bulk of it. And now we'll kind of breeze through a lot of the rest of these. So step number 2 is to, after you've gone through all of these questions with your kid and they've answered everything, to actually sit down with your child. I know it's a rare occurrence, maybe for some people. You guys are all so busy and running around, but sit down and brainstorm careers that align with the answers to these questions. So I want to, I know this sounds maybe overwhelming or hard, so I want to give you guys a couple of examples, just taking some of the questions that I asked about a second ago, and kind of give you some ideas of how this works. So let's just say, for example, that when asked what club your kid would start, if you remember that question, maybe they wrote that they'd start a club to reduce environmental waste at their school, where everyone would stop using plastic straws and food packaging. They start like recycling and composting and no handouts in class and all of that. So that was one. And I'll give you just a couple of questions. So 2, let's say when we said, what do your friends ask you for help with? Maybe they wrote that they're really good at resolving fights between friends because they're really able to see both sides of the story and communicate and really kind of empathically understand both sides. And then 3rd, we'll use the question, the last time they lost track of time. So maybe they answered they were locked up in the room on their laptop, sitting in bed, writing a fictional novel. Maybe you got some writers in here, I don't know. So if you guys can see how these start to tell a story based only, that was just only making up answers to 3 questions. So if you guys have any, and again, I don't know if I'll be able to see them, but we'll keep going. If you guys could type any suggestions based on those 3 things that I told you, the fictional novel, they're good at resolving fights, and they want clubs to stop environmental waste. Just start brainstorming in the comments if you guys would. Any careers that you can think of.
Right? Brainstorm careers related to those three answers.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just those 3 answers, and I'll keep going. But just type into the comments just anything that comes to mind, anything at all based only on that. So step number 2, again, with only those 3 answers, let's say, I'm just going to give you guys some ideas too. Let's say because of the environmental club and the interest that they have in that topic, I might write down that maybe corporate social responsibility as a career might be a good option. So there's companies, I used to work for Pepsi. We had a whole corporate social responsibility where they look at ways that the company can reduce waste and, take away packaging and make a better environmental impact on the world. So that's just a random idea.
So Marisa,
Second one.
Somebody suggested, which I thought, an environmental lawyer.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly. They have those problem-solving skills. Often lots involves writing in some ways, and that's environment. So that's awesome because you're already mixing all 3 of them together. So these are great. Another idea might be a speech writer in Washington, D.C. for a political campaign. Again, that merges those 2 of those together, or again, that lawyer, they might write protection laws, or could be writing fictional novels, or working in corporate communications. There's so many ideas.
Somebody said political journalist, mediator, sustainability engineer.
I love it. I love it. These are such good ideas. Yeah, there's so many things. So as you guys can see, I literally gave you answers to only 3 questions, and there's way more. And already you guys are coming up with these awesome ideas. So the more you can combine the intersection of all of those questions, they're going to help you get targeted towards these careers that maybe you never thought of before. So again, it's like maybe if you only took that your child loved fictional writing, for example, they might decide to study English and pursue writing novels. But some other questions might then uncover that maybe they actually love talking to people all day. And these are some more of the questions that I ask in that full list. And so they really thrive when they're connecting to others. So writing a novel alone by themselves might be a terrible idea. And it may be something that's really obvious to you. You know your kid is social, but if you don't take into consideration kind of all these different aspects of them, you can kind of go down the wrong rabbit hole. So that's why, again, just answering all of these questions and putting them together, you're going to get really great ideas. So type yes into the comments if you guys can see how this all kind of starts to come together, and it becomes way easier once you have all of these different clues from your kids.
So Marisa, said we wait till the end for questions, but there's a really good question. I think it really relates to what you're talking about. So do you mind me?
Go for it. Absolutely.
So Paul is asking, what do you think of using the Myers-Briggs personality test to assess with identifying potential career interests in academic majors? And I knew that somebody, it's a great question. You and I talked about this. It's not just Myers-Briggs. There's other assessment tools. So what are your thoughts about that versus?
Yes. Yeah, you and I talked about this as well, and Paul, that's a fabulous question. So my opinion is that I absolutely love these. So I think that they can give you insights and clues about, I say your child as well, about who your child is, some of their tendencies. It's going to start to spit some of this information out for you about like what kind of leadership they have, and are they extroverted or introverted. And there's so many different types of tests. There's one called like the 4 tendencies that I love. And it really, I think, if you like those, the more you do, it can only keep feeding information to you or to your child about their skills and their personality and the types of things they like. So I think in addition to the questions that I have, if you want to mix that in and use any information, again, it's not just mine. I've worked hard on these particular questions, but there's tons of great resources out there. But I think that we're going to keep going through these 6 steps. It's how do you then take all of that information and get to the next step and the next step and the next step, because there's no magical, even asking the right questions that I do or taking Myers-Briggs, it's not going to spit out one career that's perfect. It's really important to sit down with your kid and look at all of these different aspects and clues and then piece them all together. Does that answer the question?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so step number 3, I'm going to try to keep moving on here. So step number 3 is to list out then all the ideas that you've brainstormed and collected with your kid. So let's say you wrote down 25 or 30 ideas. Again, just like be creative, nothing's off the table, doesn't matter, just it's like a brain dump of everything you can think of. You've collected all of them, and then write down the top 5. So I know Debbie and I were talking about this last week, and a lot of people might wonder, how do you then start to take in consideration of salary, and do you need to go to grad school, and what do people get paid right out of college, and 10 years after college, and 20 years, and depending on what city they lived in, and all of that. So I put one resource here. It's called Glassdoor. It's one that I love. So you can type in a career, a location, different salary, you can even write manager, VP, director, anything you want. And they not only show job postings, but they post a lot of statistics about the type of salary, how many years, the type of schooling, all of that. So I just want to say, so let's say from the example that we used before, let's say you wrote down 20 or 30 career ideas that we brainstormed, you've narrowed it down. And I also, I think I forgot to mention the last one, a great thing to do, and I think it was in the tip there, is to not only to sit with you and your kid and your family to brainstorm, but if your kid is comfortable sharing, to ask your coworker, ask your best friend, ask your mom, ask your dad, ask any relatives, cousin, uncles, because a lot of times different friends or family members just have a different perspective, where they might know friends that have a job that you didn't even know existed. Like there's just so many different careers out there. So the more people you can share with to kind of brainstorm just that full list of ideas, it's really helpful. So then from that example, let's say we'll list the top 5 as maybe that corporate social responsibility, maybe the speechwriter, corporate communications, a copywriter, and a therapist, because that was the problem solving. So those are just, again, for this example, let's say there's the 5 that we've then narrowed it down to. We're going to circle those top 5. And you might say, okay, that's great. Now, what do we do next? Like we have these 5 things. These are these kind of far off careers. Like how do they know they're going to, like them? How do they know they're not going to go to school for, 5, 7, 8 years, whatever it might be, and then learn that they actually hate this job? So step number 4 is, this is something that I think is really important that not many people teach, and it's something I absolutely encourage. So it's to identify 1 to 3 people in each of those 5 fields, or 3 or 4, however many you narrow it down to, who your child can conduct an informational interview with. And so some of you might be wondering, Marisa, what is an informational interview? So these are really, really wonderful. And what it is, it's almost like a reverse interview. So instead of interviewing for a job, your kid will basically reach out to people in that career field. So let's say you want to talk to that environmental lawyer. You're going to think about someone in your network and find, could be a friend of a friend, a friend of a family member, maybe someone at your kid's school, parent works in this. Like find any way that you can, be creative. And they're going to write them an email, ask if they can have 15 minutes of their time. And they're going to ask them questions about, what does your day to day look like? Like, I know, when I was 16, it's like, cool, a lawyer sounds great. I have no idea what they actually do all day, And I think we take this for granted. So it's all about, again, reaching out to an actual human who actually works in that career field. And this may seem really scary to a lot of high school kids, but if you think about yourself, if a friend of your child's reached out and said, hey, can I ask you some questions about what you do? I would say, of course, I think a lot of you, the answer is probably yes. So, type yes into those comments if you would help somebody, but it's a lot less scary than people think. And parents and anybody in the working world, even if they don't have kids, are so eager and willing to help because they've all been there and they want to help you and help your family and help your kids figure out this information. So I have, in a course that I offer, gives a lot more details about how to find those people, what to say in that email, how to ask appropriately, and exact questions to ask. But again, you can be totally creative of how you find those people and who to reach out to.
Can I add one thing too, Marisa? This is
of
actually
course.
Personal experience, even with my husband too, that it's great practice for your child, like to initiate, these conversations, even for 15 minutes, to be prepared with a set of questions, talk to a professional, take the notes, follow up with a thank you. Like all of that is just great practice.
Absolutely. That's such a great point. And for some of you, some of you might have really extroverted children that this is like no big thing. They're fine. Some of you might be like, oh my God, the thought of my child doing this is terrifying. And to Debbie's point, not only is it going to help them, but it's going to, actually find a career and figure out what they like, but it does help them, in the future if they're going to have to interview for, to get into college or for a job or whatnot. And these are really important skills to start somewhere. And the more they do it, the more comfortable it's going to get. And I know it can be intimidating at first, but it all works out, I promise. All right, so step number 5. So after those informational interviews are complete, they're going to want to seek out internships opportunities, maybe in the summer, could be during the school year, or shadowing opportunities. So if those of you aren't familiar maybe with the difference between interning and shadowing, internships are usually, probably could be as short as 2 weeks, but usually like a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, depending on the timing and the season. And then shadowing is kind of one step further than that informational interview. And it might be that basically they go into an office and shadow someone for one day. So they're not responsible for anything. They don't have a job. They don't have to do anything other than just kind of sit there silently and follow around and see what that person does. And it might be for a full work day. It could be for 2 hours, 1 hour. And that way, if you think about a career in, if they want to become a surgeon one day, they're not going to be able to get into an operating room and start doing things to see what it's like, but maybe they can follow a doctor around and sit and watch some things and, learn that blood terrifies them and, things like that. So these are the next steps to figure out what they're most excited and actually will enjoy. So once they've done those informational interviews, let's say they might find after just asking questions that they're like, 3 of those things are like, I'm not doing those. I hate that job. Like, that sounds terrible. And that's incredible information to know. You just saved them 4 years and probably longer of studying something, wasting their time and going down a path that they actually would never like. So let's say we've narrowed it down to the corporate social responsibility and speechwriter. That's great. They found 2 things that they like, and those next steps are to, again, find those summer internships, reach out to anybody. And again, I can give lots of tips in a course that I sell of how to actually ask people, how to, write a resume, prepare all of that. But at the end of their experiences, they really want to, again, just find any way to learn more, to get involved, to do any work and get just involved in any way that they possibly can. And at the end of that, hopefully they're either going to say, I love this. Like, I could definitely see myself doing this one day. 2, they might say, yeah, I liked it. It was pretty cool, but I really didn't like this company that I was at. And I'd love, X, Y, I'd love to interact with more people or less people, or I didn't like sitting in an office all day, or whatever it might be. And again, even after this internship, they might say, again, I hated everything about this, and you're back to the drawing board, but at least they're starting to get those options out. So if you guys are following along so far and this is starting to make sense, and you're understanding how powerful this is, type yes into the comments. And
Marisa,
we'll, yeah.
I'm going to try this feature. I think I can share this one comment onto the screen. So
okay.
Let's give this a try. Yeah. So, okay, I don't know if you can see it, but
I can. That's so cool.
Said we YouTube jobs for my first daughter, and it was really helpful. I think that's a great idea. I love that.
I love that too. I know there's so many tools online now. You can learn so much. I know you probably don't even have to talk to real humans anymore. I think it's helpful, but that is Leanna, that is a really wonderful first step too, of even maybe before you get to those informational interviews, to go into YouTube and find someone talking about what they do every day or what a career is like. So that's awesome.
Let me share.
I love that.
Comment. This
yeah.
Is fun, but I love it. Maybe we'll see if we can try and do this. So Millie is suggesting maybe everybody can pull together and we can provide a panel, which is a great idea. Maybe we'll try and do that. I love
this. I do too, sparking new ideas. And that's the point. Like, that's Millie, to your point about that. That's you already, standing up to say, hey, I'd love to help. And so many of you are here too. So you can even use, we could put together a panel or something. Debbie and I can talk about that, or even just using the Facebook group that Debbie's put together on this page of, so many parents as resources, just to say, hey, my kid's interested in this maybe. Does anybody know someone they could talk to? Or maybe you're someone they could talk to, and or put together, people just to come kind of give some, quick tidbits on here's what I do and here's what this type of career is like. All right. Awesome. You guys are so helpful. So step number 6. So for the careers that your kid is then most interested in, so let's say you've narrowed it down, it might be one shining career option at this point, and maybe a couple, 2 or 3 that they think that they're really interested in. So the next point would then be to find out the most common majors for that field. So let's say, I'm just going to make this up, your kid wants to pursue that speech writing career for, in Washington, D.C., and then maybe consider down the road law school, because they think they might want to be a lawyer one day. So you might be wondering, how would they choose what to study? So it's pretty simple. This is one of the most simple steps, actually. You've done the hard work already at this point. That next step is then ask around and do some research. So you could ask the company where they shadowed or interned or someone they interviewed and say, for other speechwriters here, what did you guys major in? What did you study in college? Or even just do a quick Google search. So I did this for, I did a quick Google search before this for a speechwriter, and it came up, the most common ones, literally it will spit it out for you, are history, English, philosophy, political science, and economics. And then I did the same for law school. And it came up with, it was political science, journalism, communications, public relations, and economics again. So basically what I would do if I was looking at those two, it seems like political science and economics were listed for both of those. So as a parent and as a kid, then I would say, okay, kid, when you're looking for schools to apply to, I then researched programs that had a really great reputation for, one, helping students get into law school. They're not all created equally. A lot of different schools themselves have law programs, and this makes it easier. There's tons of information there. And then to narrow it down, again, look for really great schools that have both economics and political science programs, because they might get to a college that doesn't even have a poli-sci program, or it's just really like nobody takes it. It's not great. And why would you want to go there? And if you really wanted to narrow it down, you might even search for schools in or around Washington, D.C., right in the heart of the political action. So now you guys can see from literally just 3 questions that we've been using in this example, all these steps down that we answered. Not only did we pick a potential career path, we also picked a major, and now know next steps to kind of start to begin narrowing down which colleges they're even going to apply to based on the strength with that major and career field. So does that sound easier than, remember when we started with 5,300 colleges and just like throwing some darts against a wall of where to start? So if you think that sounds easier, again, type yes into those comments. So I do have an online course. Again, I know we've just started to scratch the surface on then, like, how do you go from that major and figure out the actual colleges that make a difference, to know, again, how that school is going to be a good fit. But there's a lot of non-academic factors that are really important to you, like the size of the school, the type of students who attend, like what's the social vibe like, and a lot of other questions. So these are really, really important too. And again, in the course that I offer, it really digs into those as well. But as you can see, if you remember that funnel from the beginning, we've started from the top and we're just kind of working our way down. So again, maybe for those of you who joined late, I know Debbie has the slide up. If you missed it, if you want the slides after this presentation, and if you want the list of questions from that first step, the full list of like 35 questions to help ask your kid, open up your phone and send an email to me right now to support@talkcollegetome.com, just with your first name in the subject line. Don't have to write anything, and I will send those to you right after this, or by tomorrow at least. All right, so while you guys are sending that, I just want you guys to write into the comments, how many of you are starting to feel better about this process? So if you could type yes into the comments, if you're starting to see how this all works and you're really excited to now help your kid figure this out, type yes, because I hope that this is what's going on for you. So we've come a long way. I know we have just 1 hour together tonight. We've covered tons of information. So you figured out how to help your kid choose at least a potential career path, right? And again, I say this knowing that your kid may change. Like, they may get to college and take one class in college that they never had thought about before, and it's going to send them down a different path. Or, they may interact with someone who has this whole new idea, or have a roommate in college that inspires them to do something else. And that's going to happen, and that's absolutely okay. But the point is that it's better to at least start out this process as focused as they can, so they at least get to school being part of a program that they know they at least have a chance at liking and is potential for them to have a career and to move forward in the future, because that's at least better than getting to a school and saying, well, this program's terrible, or I had to apply to something else, or they don't even offer what I want to study. So even if, again, kids are going to change directions, they're going to learn more, and that's absolutely okay. But again, I just want you guys to think of the importance of really honing in and at least starting with the direction, because I'm going to talk about in a second. It also makes their college applications and what they're doing in high school way stronger too. So I'll get to that in a second. But again, you've learned how to choose, that's why I say, a potential career path. Nothing has to be permanent. We taught you then how to pick a major, and then I have a check and an X about picking college, because we've done half the work about kind of the majors, but there's some other kind of qualitative information to figure that out too. So the question now is, how do you help your kids throughout high school to ensure that they have the best possible chances of getting accepted to those chosen colleges that they've now narrowed down and picked out that are going to help support their career and help kind of get them on the right path to a successful future? So how do you help your kid prepare, through freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, so that, again, they have the best possible chances? Because ultimately, the career is down the road, but this is, most of you, I imagine, this is your primary concern right now. So if you agree, type yes into the comments. So I covered as much as I possibly could during this time together, and I'm going to leave some time for questions at the end. I have a little bit more to show you, and I want to be mindful of that. But for those of you who want to take the next steps with me and get even more detailed instruction about the 6 steps that we covered tonight, how to write the resume, how to reach out for informational interviews, and who want the full set of instructions to then, all of those questions, the qualitative questions to narrow down the colleges to apply to so that your kid can really thrive in college, then I have a really awesome opportunity for you. And that is I call it my 7-day college admissions crash course for parents. So basically, I've taken all of this knowledge, and we've only touched on the surface of some of these things tonight, and I'll talk about what's inside the course. But I've taken everything that all parents have asked me all the time, the type of information that I would work one-on-one with people, and the questions that come up over and over again. And I put everything together, everything you would need to know, inside of an online course, and it has step-by-step tutorials and advice on each step of the process. So again, year by year, starting freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, because I know that you guys are busy. You want the answers to all of this information, and there's a lot of information out on the internet, right? Like, everybody's typing into different groups and comments, and there's like a million Google searches, and I know that parents are often really confused and overwhelmed, and they don't know what to start, and you feel like you're missing information, or you've like missed really important dates and deadlines. So this takes everything that you need to know and puts it 7 sections. You do 1 each day, and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, but it can all be finished in 1 week in 1 week's time, and you can do it all on your own time whenever you want. So it's a lot of kind of video tutorials. So if you know exactly the type of information, the step-by-step, really detailed directions, the kind of information that I offered here tonight. So if you like the style, you will love the course. And then, like the questions that I'm going to send you, there's worksheets, there's really specific examples, and it just makes it all super easy for essays, for resumes, for again, to reach out for college recommendations from teachers, everything like that. So on the next slide here, Debbie, You're good. So I'll quickly breeze through what's included in each of those 7 sections. So section 1, and I call them day by day, but technically you can do them whenever you want, but I encourage you to go through them by the day so you can get it all in, because I know it happens, once people start to forget. But section 1 is all the dates and deadlines that you need to stay on top of as a parent throughout each year, and specifically listed in a really pretty calendar, so you'll never miss anything. The next day is all about standardized tests and scoring. So what score to aim for, when to take the test, how many times, when to start studying. Day 3 is all about essays and creating the strongest application. So Parents have really love this one because it breaks down in super detail exact instructions on how to brainstorm a topic, what the different types of essays are, and exactly how to write really strong essays and put together strong application based on that story. The next one is resumes, honors, awards, and interviews. Day 5 is choosing the right schools to apply to. So again, that gets into more of those qualitative factors that we didn't get to talk about tonight. Section 6 is application deadlines. So again, like early decision, early action, rolling, regular decision. What do they mean? Which one's right? They're not all created equal. So it really breaks those down and explains which ones are right for your kid and which school. And then lastly, there's a whole section on financial aid and scholarships and how to apply and stay on top of the dates and to find some scholarships that probably you guys have never thought to search for with your kid and that you can actually start applying for in high school every year right away. So that's kind of top line. I know that I've talked a lot. And Debbie, I don't know, do we have, I can't see in the back, our parent here in the back of the room?
Yes. Okay, you ready?
Yes, we have, yeah, I can bring her on.
Okay, I'm gonna take down the slide for a second. Okay, and here is Jana. Coming up, okay.
Hello.
Okay, we see her. I'm not sure, we can't hear Jana yet.
Yes, can you hear me? Of course, I was on mute.
There we go.
I do it all the time.
Yes, that's good.
Hi,
I love
everyone.
your microphone. Hi,
Thanks.
so
My work
we brought,
microphone.
yes, so you were watching the last, I believe you were part of a Facebook Live that Debbie and I did together back in September.
Yep.
And just like in this Facebook Live, you decided to sign up for this college admissions crash course for parents. So we just wanted to bring you here to talk a little bit about your experience. So if you don't mind just sharing, what you were thinking, what kind of situation, how you were feeling beforehand, and then what happened once you started taking the course.
Right. So I was looking for something that is very specific with the exact instructions, and I'll be honest with you, less reading and more practical advices. Because I am super busy. I have a crazy work schedule, so I was looking for specific advices. I went in my son's school, I went to a couple presentations, and I felt that it's just they don't give you enough details. They just talk, but there's no specific details. So when I signed up for this course, first I was skeptical. It's probably going to be another. I loved it. I absolutely loved it because it was straight to the point, very precise, very cohesive, and gave you specific information. And that's exactly what I was looking for. And also, you can do it anytime. Sometimes I did it like at midnight. Sometimes I did it during lunchtime at work. So I think it's been very, very helpful. And I'll be honest, after the course, we filled out Common App as pros, literally, because I used a lot of advices from the course.
I love that. So one, that warms my heart to hear how helpful it was to you. I'm so glad. And I'd love to know, were there any specific, particular things inside the course or something that you were surprised by or did right away that really resonated with you that maybe you had never thought to do before?
What I really like, there's a lot of websites that I didn't hear about before, and I thought I did a lot of research myself before, so that was very helpful. We did even use their resume template that you recommended, and we created resume for my son. We also look at a lot of worksheets, and I'll be honest with you, what was also helpful for my son, who is already a senior, it was a couple of things that I wish I knew before when he was a junior. So
Right.
I now have a 10th grader, so
good.
This is something that I know what he needs to do. I already told him we're going to do A, B, C, D, so that was very helpful.
I love the benefit of being a younger child.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
So I think the practical advices and something that is really you can take and apply really matters to me. And it's, like I said, it's very concise. So you don't have to spend like 100 hours on this. You really spend like an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And also, I didn't do it every day or every week as suggested. I probably stretched the course over like a couple of weeks, but I did on my own time when I wanted, how I wanted, and I think it's been very helpful.
Marisa and Jana, there's a question, and somebody wants to know, can they skip some of the sections if they already know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe
Go
so,
ahead.
but I didn't skip any. I didn't skip anything, and I thought when I started the course, I was already can give advices myself because I thought I did so much research, and I had a lot of information from my son's school, which does really good advisory for college. But still, there's a lot of sections had maybe one or two, or maybe more tips and tricks that I used, so I don't recommend to skip it. But you can if you want to, because you never know where you can see. Like I said, I thought, when I started the course, I was skeptical, probably nothing new is going to come up, but actually every section had something very practical and very important. So I loved it.
Love that. Yeah, I couldn't have answered it better myself. So yeah, in short, you're absolutely welcome. You can pick and skip around, and often I tell people to watch it all the way through because, as you just mentioned, you might think that you know things, but you're going to get these little tidbits and tricks that you just hadn't thought of before. And then a lot of people, so you said you have a senior, but you have and a sophomore as well, and you have unlimited access to the course for forever. So, and tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of parents do, and maybe this is your experience, is they'll go through all of the sections because in my experience, a lot of times parents just have this fear, like there's something that I'm missing and I don't know what it is. And it's like this kind of nervous feeling in your gut. So I recommend going everything through just so you feel like you've got all the steps, you can see the future, you know what's ahead. And it's great for, as you mentioned, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And then with your sophomore, it's like you've already gone through all the sections, but come senior year when they're actually writing their essays, you might forget everything you learned. So you can always go back to those sections at that time and refer back to the worksheets, the videos, and the instructions when you're ready and when they're more relevant again. So you have access to them forever. And you can kind of keep referring back to them, and you are welcome to skip all of it. But I tried to make it, as Donna said, as quick and to the point as I could do, because it's not helpful if it takes 500 hours. You're not going to spend the time. So it's really to the point, and it's really a ton of helpful tips and information.
Yep, and we also use in the resume section, we use advices for supplemental essays. So we definitely took a lot of good information from there because you had to write a bunch of supplemental essays.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for hopping on and for sharing your experience. And again, it really you're the reason that I do what I do, and it makes me so happy that it was helpful. And can't wait to hear where your son gets into college. I know everyone's hearing back in a little bit. So
yeah, we already got 2 acceptances waiting for more.
Good.
Very exciting. So he's going somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Wonderful. Congratulations, and thank you so much for popping in to join us tonight.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, bye everyone.
Okay. Wonderful. So Debbie's bringing back the slides. So I wanted to share her experience because, again, she was literally just like you guys. This was probably 3 months ago. We did a workshop on the Common Application. This was specifically for seniors at the time. But I wanted you to see a parent who, I know a lot of people have these offers and you have no idea what to trust, but to hear from a real person how it's really actually helped her. And again, she is the reason I do what I do, and it just makes me so happy. So I just want to quickly talk about some of the pricing. So for a one-on-one college consultant, so if you were to work one-on-one with me directly or anybody else, this was actually from a couple of years ago, but it used to be that the average cost was over $4,000 for, again, someone like me one-on-one to help your kid. And I know that's out of the price range for a lot of people, and that's why I created this course. So it's literally everything that a college consultant would work with your kid on one-on-one. And I've recorded it so that it doesn't take my one-on-one time to tell the same thing over and over again, but all of that information is there. So on the next slide here, what's exactly included. So in this, it's, again, those 7 modules. There's over 20 video lessons that are broken down into just a couple minutes at a time, really bite-sized topic. As Jana mentioned, there's worksheets, example essays, resume instructions, like really helpful links and resources that you may not have known about. I have a workshop recording, how to fill out the Common Application, list of 100 helpful scholarships. And I'm going to tell you about a package that even offers 6 one-on-one coaching sessions with me for those of you who might be interested, which I don't usually offer, as Debbie knows, but I am tonight. So the investment for a course like this is normally $1,597. And that would be with those 6 one-on-one courses. But tonight I put together a couple of different packages for you and put together some really special deals because I love Debbie and I love this group so much. So it's starting with a price of $137 for the course, and then a couple of different options for, again, up to more if you want to work one-on-one. There's an offer for 6 one-on-one coaching sessions and phone calls directly with me. So if you want help brainstorming, if you want help with absolutely anything. So when you go to, and I think we'll put the link in the comments as well, but if you guys open up your browser now on a separate tab and you type in talkcollegetome.com/road to college, and again, hopefully I think we'll be able to put that in the link because I know it's a long thing, so you'll just be able to click through. But you're going to see 3 different options, as I mentioned. So there's a starter plan, a complete plan, and a one-on-one coaching plan, again, which offers those 6 individual phone calls with me if you really just want some extra help. So again, there's several different options because I wanted to be able to offer a plan that's right for you and your family. So on the next page, I also just want to quickly touch, there's a really special bonus for those who join within 1 hour from now. So when you go to that page, you're going to see like a little hour countdown. So for those who joined before, I'm actually going to do a really special workshop. And I put this little video here because we're going to do, it's kind of like a Zoom call where we'll have your faces. And if you can see from the power tonight, we're going to actually, give you a chance for your kid to fill out all those questions that we talked about from the beginning and come collectively together to brainstorm. You'll have my help specifically and also all the other parents. And as you can see, you guys all had great ideas, even from just that quick topic. So for any of you who are stuck in this phase of like, okay, my kids answered all the questions, but I just don't know, and I don't know lots of careers, this is a really great opportunity for you guys to join. And again, we'll host about 2 weeks. I'll send out a date and a time. And if you can't make it live, we'll record it. And you can ask me questions afterwards. But just an awesome opportunity for you to get a little bit extra help. So that's the end. Again, if you guys, when you're ready to join and sign up for the course, if you want to be like Jana to get this like really helpful information to feel super ready to help your kid through college, through all parts of it, to understand once they figure out this career and major direction, I'm going to teach one of the things, I think the most important things I teach throughout the course is how do they then throughout their time in high school take that direction and start to do activities and extracurricular activities and write essays that really resonate with that story that they want to pursue one day. And that's how you really, really stand out to colleges. And it's a way that doesn't feel like your kid is like doing all of these extra, activities just to look good. It's, picking this direction. And then I teach you exactly like all of these 10 different ways to then take what you've learned, apply it to real life and build this incredibly strong story. And that's how you set yourself apart on those college applications. And I teach each part of that within there. And it's really easy to do, again, if you know the right steps. So again, head to talkcollegetome.com/road to college. You'll see those 3 different options. And I really hope that you guys join. For those of you in the hour, you'll get that extra bonus call with me. But again, there's a couple of different options. So I hope that, there's a price that's right for everybody, depending on what you need. If you want those extra sessions with me, I'd love to work with you guys. But if not, the course really has everything that you need to know. So Debbie, I don't know if you have any particular questions, or we can take some others, or I can talk about more logistics of the course, whatever we want to cover.
I've been saving some questions that people asked throughout the hour. So do you mind if we go to that?
Absolutely.
I can put them on the screen. Okay. Well, I'll say it too. So Elizabeth is asking, have you ever heard of colleges that offer camps to expose students to several courses of study to give them an idea of what they want to be involved in?
Give us a great opportunity to hear about many options. So a lot of kids, college campuses do offer programs in the summer. And there's a lot of mixed information about these. Some people think that if your kid goes to these summer camps at college, it's like kind of a way to get a leg up just into admissions. I think it can be helpful. Really, I think those programs are most helpful just to learn, like, if they think they might want to attend that college, what it feels like to be there, what the environment's like. A lot of them are honestly just kind of money-making opportunities for those colleges. And they don't really have specific programs to kind of teach you about careers and things like that. So honestly, I feel like very few colleges really provide this information ahead of time. The best you're going to get is, if you attend information sessions on those college campuses and you talk about different majors, or if you talk to their, career offices. And I think that as a parent, you really have to be the one to guide those conversations, because there's just such an array of careers that they can't cover everything. So the more intuitive information you can learn about your child and use those questions to, again, kind of get these directions, then I would say, your best bet is, talk to someone like me, talk to friends and family, talk to people in those career fields, and then also talk to colleges that you might be interested in to make sure they have programs. Ask them about, with that major, what kind of careers do they go into? How do they help support those career searches and things like that? But I think that's more than you asked. But answer, I think that summer programs are not really going to teach your kid kind of like how to pick a career.
Okay, here's another question I'll put on the screen. And a few people responded to this. So Dina is saying, I'm struggling with my 16-year-old son who doesn't want to think about his future. He would struggle to give an answer to these questions. And just, after that, people said, yeah, my son too, my child too.
Yes, Deanna, I feel you there. So what I love about these questions is the reason I give such specific questions is because I think when you as a parent ask these broad questions of like, what do you want to do? What do you want to study? You're going to get a lot of pushback from your kid of like, I don't know, and I don't want to talk to you, and I'm going to shut my door and we're never having this conversation again, right? But I think the beauty of these questions is that they're so specific and they're not like, they don't make you or make your child kind of like think of this broader idea. It's just simply answering questions. And so hopefully by doing that, they can then you'll then be able to kind of extract the answers from them. The other thing that's great, and this is why I'm offering this time those 6 one-on-one coaching sessions, is because sometimes kids just like don't want to work with you as parents. They won't listen to you as parents, but they will listen to me, and they will listen to someone else who's not their parents, who's there to help them. So you guys can use those phone calls in any way you want. And it might be you as a parent who wants some advice, or it could also be, I would be happy to spend those phone calls with your child, and we can sit there and answer those questions together, brainstorm them together. And I'm able to then, hold his hand one-on-one for a little bit of extra encouragement. And so again, like they might just not respond to parents, but with someone like me who's, somewhere in between the age of both of you, they often relate a lot better and will respond. And I've been in their shoes recently and can help them. So I hope that answers. And I'm excited. I can see some of you, it says Stacy just joined the course and some other people. So again, while we're answering questions, don't forget within this hour, within the 1 hour, you guys can get some really awesome bonuses to join me in that session and talk through. And your kid can join that session. And also, we didn't talk about before, the course that I created is really geared towards parents, but all of the information in there is super helpful for kids as well. So I know a lot of times the parents are the gatekeepers, and if they know the information, they can help their kids learn it. But a lot of parents will tell me they actually have, maybe their kid won't watch all of it. Maybe, Deanna, your kid is that way. But if you say, hey, there's just this like one video I want you to watch, or a couple as they're relevant. That's another way of like me teaching it to them and not you telling them. And when someone else says it, a lot of times they're a lot more likely to do it. So the course is really helpful in that way as well.
Okay, another good question. Erin is asking, what is the suggested time frame for having this discussion?
So if you mean this discussion, and I think you mean, like answering those questions and figure out the career, I think it's never too early. And I say that with the caveat of your kid is going to be exposed to more over the years and learn more, and it might shift directions. But the more they can start to figure out earlier on, that just gives them more time to spend their summers, even if they're a freshman, let's say, they can still shadow someone over the summer for a couple days and start just having more time to figure out what careers they like, what they definitely don't like, and just kind of try things out. And then it also gives them more time if they figure out freshman year that they really want to work in environmental science one day. Then, throughout their years, they can join environmental science clubs. They can start a company. They can, start a volunteer organization, and they're going to build. Again, I hate telling parents like your kids shouldn't do things just to get into college. But if this is what they're really excited about and what they're passionate about, then it's not going to feel that way. And they're just like, I teach you inside of the course how to spend freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year really expanding on that story that's going to make them a way stronger college applicant, because they're actually doing what's true to them, what they're excited about, what they're going to do one day. And then when it comes time senior year to fill out those applications and choose the college and then choose the major and all of that, they're going to be so far ahead, and it's just really helpful.
I think that's great information. I answered, Fred had a question, does the course expire? And as you said earlier, it does not. So that's another plus for getting it.
Yeah, definitely. It never expires, and it's super helpful. So the way it works is, as soon as you register, you basically get, you enter your username, and it gives you a password, and it's the site that you can log into. Because I know people are like, what is an online course? I know my parents, when I first did this, they're like, what are you even talking about? I don't understand how this works. So you have this log on, and you go into a website, and it's really specifically organized, in these 7 sections and broken down into even smaller topics. So you have access forever, and it's, again, really organized. The worksheets are, under each section. The helpful links and tips are under each section. And as Janice said, it's just really helpful. You're going to learn things you didn't even know. And again, I always tell parents it's really great to go through it all right away, so that you, again, just like take away the fear. What's coming next. All the things to do. But you do have access to it forever. So if your kid is a freshman or sophomore, or maybe you have a senior, but another one who's younger, you can always refer back to it. And, as standardized tests are coming up and that becomes more relevant, you can kind of go look at those sections again, and then choosing colleges and go look at that section again. And, it has questions to ask when you're visiting college campuses. So you might look at it, and by the time you get there, be like, what did it say? And you can go back and print out that list and bring it with you on your college tours and all of that. So it's a really helpful resource. Again, it's yours forever. And I know a lot of parents go back and look at it and have their kids go through it. And I just can't stress enough how super simple and easy and helpful it really is. So if you guys are...
Marisa, 2 other
yeah.
questions. Well, one is Anna Marie is asking, she already has a freshman, and what would you recommend purchasing? So do you want to, is it still appropriate if your kid is already in college?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I know a lot of this career information was really helpful for everybody who was, whether your kid is in college or high school. This particular course is really how to help your kid get into high school. Get from high school, get into college. So this course would not, I would say, be the right fit for a kid who's transferring. Because most likely all the information. But if you feel like you missed things last time around, or it's she's having trouble writing the essays, it definitely could be helpful. So again, it's not helpful just if you're already in college, but transferring, if they're going through the whole process again and feel like they could use help writing the essays and choosing the school and things like that, it could certainly be helpful. And we haven't even talked about, there's also a 60-day refund. So for, again, I've never had anybody do this because everyone who signs up for the course absolutely loves it. But if you wanted to give it a try, it's a no questions asked refund policy. So if you think it might be helpful and you want to give it a shot and try it for this particular instance, and you're like, you know what, we knew this information and it's just not right. Again, you have 60 days, that's 2 months, because I don't want anyone to feel pressured. I want this to feel like the right fit. And I know sometimes it's hard to know before you get into the course, like what it is and if it's right and what the information is. And you're just kind of blindly trusting. So again, there is that no questions asked refund policy. So again, if you want to give it a shot, absolutely. And Debbie and I have been talking recently too about how to maybe give some information for kids who are already in college and thinking about careers.
Yeah, we don't have it all together yet, but Marisa and I have been talking about how she can help kids, students who are in college, either further figure out if they're still having problems, with their major, or helping them get internships over the summer, and that would ultimately, lead and help them with finding jobs after graduation. So that's like phase 2 of this Facebook Live.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm also really excited. I'm just looking at the logins too. I see like Brenda just joined the course, and Millie. We have Gail, Beth, Marie, Joy, Sanja, Jayoti, Uzama. Looks like Nike or Nikki, can't say, Dina, Amy. So lots of people joining. So I'm super excited. A lot of you in here are joining the course. And it's just so exciting. So I don't know, Debbie, again, I can't see the comments. I don't know if there's any more particular questions.
I don't have any other questions, but thank you so much, Marisa. I think that people got a lot of good information out of this. Hopefully, and it sounds like people have already decided to give the course a try. I think Jana's, testimonial was fabulous. Really, I love the way she said, I thought I already knew a lot, but I section and found something more.
Yes, I love that too.
So that's great. Yeah. So I'm glad our Facebook Live finally worked, and we will, repost the links again, but you can get a copy of the slides. We will be reposting this Facebook Live because it's automatically recorded. So, it will be posted in the Facebook, our Paying for College 101 Facebook group. We post it on the Facebook page. We send it in the email. So there's lots of different ways to see this recording again. We'll, again, post the link to Marisa's course, which you can purchase at any time. But as Marisa said, if you purchase within the hour, you do get the group class. What would you call it? The group.
I guess like a group brainstorm workshop. Just a chance to be with me and other parents and ask questions. And again, the pricing too, if you go to my website, the price for the course is much higher. So I'm only offering it this special opportunity right now for you guys. And if we have the replay, again, this bonus will only be available for the next hour, but we'll probably offer the special pricing for just a couple of days in case there's anybody who's watching the replay. But again, this particular lower pricing is for this group only. It's for Debbie, and just a special price because you guys are here tonight. You joined me and went through this workshop. So I hope that it was super helpful. Hope that you guys have, if you sent me your an email to get those slides and everything, or you can find Debbie to reach me. I'm happy to answer any questions about the course or about any of the information that you learned here tonight if you're thinking about joining. And again, once you're inside of the course, like I don't let you loose and that's it. There's a place to comment and ask questions, and I'm pretty responsive via email as well. I really feel like everything is included inside of that course. That's my whole goal. But if you have particular questions that you're like, this just pertains to me and me only, and I must know, I'm here and around and available. And that's also what those one-on-one coaching calls are for as well. So again, I sincerely hope that this was helpful information for you guys tonight. I hope that it helps you answer that terrifying question of what do you want to be when you grow up, and starts to give you some direction and your kids direction on how to go about this process and how to use these questions in the career to figure out the major and the colleges, and keeps getting easier and easier. So thank you guys for joining tonight and being so engaged. You guys are always the best.
Marisa, we will definitely, there's people already kind of saying that they have interest in kind of the other thing we were talking about helping existing college students find internships and everything. So we'll have to, get that together and come back with another Facebook Live.
Yeah, Debbie and I were going to ask, and we can do it now or later too. Of we'll try to find some ways to get interest, but we've been thinking about whether it's also high school kids or college kids to have these workshops with kids about how to create a resume and answer these questions and like get the courage and what to say to reach out to these informational interviews and how to actually find internships and answer the interview questions and land a job. It's stuff that I love to help with as well. So if that's interest, email Debbie or me, or, we'll find ways to ask you those questions too.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everybody. Actually, Marisa, there's one more question. I don't know if you want to clarify. Anna Marie is saying, what's the special bonus? Because the $15.95 is marked down to $9.97. Not. There seems to be some questions about the pricing.
Oh, yeah. So when you go to the page, so when you go to talkcollegetome.com/road to college there, it sounds like you're on the page, you're going to see those 3 different options. So there's the starter, the complete, and the one-on-one coaching plan. So the starter is just the course. The complete plan is the course plus some other couple really awesome bonuses that I offer. And then the last section is the option to get the course plus 6 one-on-one phone calls and coaching sessions directly with me. So for anyone who joins, I can't remember what time the question we started the questions, but if it's probably by like 10:30, so basically in the next the hour from when we started answering questions, anybody who purchases that course, and I can see the time that everybody purchased. So if it's within that hour, no matter which of the 3 options you get, you're going to get access to that really special group call and that workshop with all the parents and me to just get together, brainstorm career options, and talk about anything that you guys need help with what we talked about tonight. So once I have everybody who signed up, and I'll give it till 10:30 or whenever that hour, there's like a little countdown clock when you click on the page. You'll get access to that, and I will send you information. It sends me your email. So I'll shoot you guys an email with like a link to the Zoom call and a date, and it just everything like that. So yeah, anyone who joins in the next, I guess it's like 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes, not sure, will get access to that group call. So you don't have to click anything or like add any bonus or anything to it. Whichever one you do, you will automatically get that, and I will send out more information in the next day or 2. So I think that answers the question.
So. Okay, well, great. We packed a lot in. We're over an hour. But, thank you, Marisa. Always fun having these conversations.
Love talking to you, Debbie.
And we will be back. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, everybody, and hope to see you guys inside the course.